Hello there, Board Game Maniacs, and thanks for joining us for another episode of Painting with a Maniac! 'Cause I'm a maniac. That's right. Alrighty. So, in this episode, we are going to be painting one of the miniatures from the Fallout Wasteland Warfare Brotherhood of Steel core box. By Modiphius Entertainment. You can see this is the box right here. Got nice pictures already up there. You get 7 32mm scale, high quality, multi-part resin miniatures. And with that, you get the scenic bases too as well. I love their bases because they are so, they add so much more to, instead of having to just put sand and, you know, building your own bases. The bases are already textured. They already got the terrain onto them or scatter pieces onto them. So because of that, just makes it a lot more dramatic and more interesting. Now, if you've been following along on our channel, Board Game Maniacs, you can notice that we're doing a lot of Fallout Wasteland Warfare. Past couple of weeks, I kind of stopped doing it for a little bit because I got tied up and busy with other games that I had to shoot. But now we are back, and we're going to be doing some Brotherhood of Steel right now. And then on top of that, we're just going to continue on painting other Fallout Wasteland Warfare miniatures and also play some more battle reports into the upcoming months, weeks, into Board Game Maniacs. So I don't know if this is going to be associated with another theme month for Fallout Wasteland Warfare, or it could be just an episode that is by itself. But in either case, we are going to be painting, what are we going to paint? The knights. That's what we're going to do. So these guys here, this is a knight, and that is a knight right there. And that's what we're going to paint. We already painted up these ones here, which are the scribes. And we already painted up these two, which are the knights. So, and also two as well as one with the big power armor. So today we are going to be painting up one of the other knights. I'd say these are the, I think I screwed that up. Ah! Anyhow, let's flip it over and we can see what's included into the box. I've already opened it and everything. But we're going to be painting up one of these guys here, which are the knights. Just so everybody is aware. Lancers, that was the name of the other one. Haha. Okay, so in here you get 2 Lancers, 2 Field Scribes, 2 Night Patrol, and 1 T-60 Paladin with a Gatling laser and 7 scenic bases. So again, we painted up these ones here, which are the Lancers. We painted up these, which are the Field Scribes. We painted up this guy, which is, I'll show you it all anyhow, what they look like. This guy here is the Paladin with the T-60 power armor. And this guy right here is one of the Night Patrols. And we're going to be painting one of those. I already painted up one of the Night Patrols, which I'll show you momentarily. But that's what we're doing. I didn't record videos on painting these, unfortunately, but just this one. But pretty straightforward. And don't forget, if you want to find out more information about this game, right there, go to modiphius.com/Fallout. It's an awesome game, a lot of fun to play. Brady and I played it a couple of times. There's a whole theme month devoted to this, and they're just going to continue playing more and more. Anyhow, let's look at the miniatures when I paint it, and look at the miniature that's not painted that we're painting together today. I'm painting with a maniac! Here you have the miniatures where they are all painted up except for the guy in the middle, the knight that we're going to be painting, Night Patrol. Now, let's look at the scribes first. I really like painting these orange. It was interesting with the orange because I did like a wash first and then I went over it with the glazing of Fire Dragon Bright, I think it is, from Citadel. And, you know, I did a little bit of contrast paint onto them and everything. I like the way their bases are. Really nice. I thought they turned out great. There's the other one with the fire hydrant. Again, their bases are very dramatic and I really like the look of them. Whoops, without dropping them on the head. And then you have these ones right here. 2 of them. These were all painted with contrast paints only. I didn't use anything else except contrast paint. I'm really liking the contrast paint line. Again, one of the scenic bases is really cool. A stop sign kind of buried in the dirt. Whoops. Whoops. I'm keeping on knocking everything down. Jeez. The grass don't come with it, obviously. I add that in. But you can see there like a manhole cover. Looks like part of a rocket, possibly. But yeah, that's really cool. And then we got the big guy himself right here. I like the way he turned out. Kind of clean, but hey, it's all right. Now I'm dirty. You can see like there's a barrel there, some wood. Very, very cool. And then the Night Patrol, which is right here. I like him a lot. So I gave him brown leather under armor, I guess, underneath his arm, which is, you know, interesting. And the base again, cracked asphalt, really cool. Now with him, I didn't use all contrast paint, and we're not going to be doing that because different steps that we're going to be doing here, but we are going to be using some contrast paint. Just be aware of that. Do you have to use contrast paint to paint these? No, you do not. You can use whatever you have at hand. So just be aware. So anyhow, and this here is who we're painting today. I already based him out in white, and I also did his skin texture. I didn't use contrast paint for his skin. What I did is I used Recklin Flesh Shade and put like 3 layers onto it because I don't like painting skin, and this is the easiest way for me to do. So that's what we're going to be painting today. And again, his scenic base, that's like a broken bell maybe, or maybe like a light post. I don't know, whatever we paint it up to be, I guess. So that is it, pretty cool. So that's what we're going to be painting. So let's start going with the paint then. First color we're going to do is we're going to paint all of the armor with Leadbelcher Citadel. Now, for this, we're putting it in our wet palette. Let me take my wet palette over here. So you can see the Leadbelcher is right there. And I just put probably like 2 brush sizes in here, as well as 1 brush size of water, and mix it together. And that's for my wet palette. And now we're just going to paint away. And I'm using a brush. It's a super detail brush from Army Painters. You can see right there. Small little tip. And away we start. It'd be better if I had it on camera too. There we go. And paint away, paint away. Now, you can see his army has like leather straps onto it, and underneath that could be leather, like his leather undersuit if we want, or we can paint it all silver. But this one here, I think, because I'm going to be painting the straps too, let's just try to leave that, and we'll paint the undersuit with his with the brown for the leather. Now you could go ahead and you could have just based this whole thing out in like a Leadbelcher if you wanted to. Would have probably saved a little bit of time, but it's okay. I'm not in a rush. Hope you're not in a rush either. But if you are, you can just fast forward. Yeah, see, all I'm doing is I'm just going through, painting what I can of it. Now, I'm kind of going off of what I've already painted, like so. And you can see there with the leather, I kind of included just all that is armor. I didn't put that they were leather straps, but I want them to be a little different. So that's why this is going to be painted up just slightly different. And if you're wondering why I'm talking like that, because I have my brush in my mouth. So yeah, that's just me. That's what I do. So because it is watered down a little bit, it's easier to apply the paint. You don't want it too watery, because if it's too watery, then you're just looking at a heap of runny trouble. And I'm not in the mood to run today to catch it, so I'm just keeping it a little bit watery, not too much. Hope everybody's doing good in this nice sunny weather. I don't know when this video will be out, but as I do for every video, especially nowadays, is that I talk about COVID-19 just a little bit, you know, just to stay safe, because Here in Ontario, Canada, it is kind of easing off, but we are still into the lockdown. When I say the lockdown, it's a state of emergency that was declared back in March. And the time of this video is being shot, it's the end of June. So that's been a long time for this going on. But things are improving. Hopefully things in your area is improving too as well, or that when this video is actually released, that it just, you know, there's no more COVID, which would be great. So what I'm going to do here, because all I'm doing is I'm just painting all of the armor with the lead belcher like usual. I don't want to bore everybody by watching me paint every one of these steps, such as, you know, like painting the whole miniature with the lead belcher, because it can get a little boring. So I'm just going to stop the video, and when this is all painted and dry, I'll be back and we will go on to the next color. Now that he is all dry, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a contrast paint to paint all of like his leather straps. And again, this one is different. I'm kind of painting differently from the one that I painted here. Just be aware of that. And the contrast paint we're using is Citadel Color Contrast. And the name of it is Agaros Dunes. Agaros Dunes. Boo, boo, boo. Give it a good shake. Give your contrast paints all a good shake, because it'll settle on the bottom and you don't want that. So anyhow, let's do this, shall we? Okay. So just a little bit at a time. And we're going to paint his harness, or his ammo pouches and everything too as well. And you notice I'm not like completely oversaturating my brush, because if I did that, it'd be kind of problematic that you would have like the contrast paint running everywhere, and that's not good. And painting his belt. So again, it's pretty simple. So I'm going to paint all of this. I'm not going to give him a brown undersuit. We're going to do it different than the other one. Like I said, we're going to do black. So I'm going to continue on with this color right here and paint all of it that I want in this color. And once I'm back and it's dry, once I'm done and it's dry, I'll be back, because I don't want to bore everybody again with doing this. But I can paint a little bit more, I guess. Just don't like doing all of this on camera, because it gets a little boring watching this. But I'll do some more. Keep my big head out of the way. That would be a good idea. So yeah, like even his canteen in the back that you can see right there. Do that. On the other one, I painted it with like a green army contrast paint instead of the brown, or the dune. So again, a little bit of difference is good. Unless you want to keep them exactly uniformed, as in all painted the same, then yeah, you would do that. But I don't do that sort of stuff. No way, no how. I do it outside of the box. The way I am. Alright, so again, I'm not going to bore you anymore. I'll be back after this is all done painting. Next color we're applying, since all of the dune color is dry, is another contrast paint. It is Black Templar. And that's what we're going to do now. Again, make sure that all of your contrast paints are shaken up as best as possible, because it's just, the color is not going to be there if you don't. It's going to be very toned down, transparent, and so by doing that you have to, you know, shake it up to get all of it mixed thoroughly. Now with the black, what we're applying it to is like his gun, his gloves, his under armor, and I think that's it with the black we were applying. Because the other armor other Under Armour. Jeez. I paint it with the brown, and you know, difference is good. So we're just going to be painting it with the black. And being very cautious with it. Anyhow, okay. See it? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. The reason why I chose to do the, like, go from light to dark with painting this is because if I make a mistake with the lighter color, and you know, you don't have to worry about cleaning it up because you're going to be applying a darker color to it, which you can cover over the paint that you kind of messed up a little bit. That's my thoughts on it, anyhow. You can see, pretty easy peasy. Going in. Making sure you got everything as you go along. See, like there's some pieces that I miss. Right there. And you can see a little bit underneath here. On. It's easy. Okay, I'm going a little too maniac there, I think. All right. I'm just going to keep painting. And when we're done with all the black, we will be back. While all the black Templar contrast paint is drying, we are going to just keep continuing on, but we're going to start doing some of the base. Now, for the base, what we're going to do is we're going to be going back over to the Dunes contrast paint, and we're going to paint where the concrete is kind of split, because you can see here a little bit of dirt mound going on right there, and it's kind of cracked. There's some dirt there, so that's what we're doing with the contrast paint here, and we're making sure, you know, we got a halfway decent amount of the contrast paint onto the brush, that is. So there's going to be a little bit of puddling going on, but I want the puddling to give that the recess all of that contrast. It's like whatever this is, it hit and cracked, and that's what happened. You can see there's a little bit of mound of dirt here. So we're going to paint that too. And also just kind of around this area. Just a little bit. Just like that. Pretty easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now we're gonna have to leave this dry a little bit more. So we'll be back after that's all dry. While this contrast paint, the Dune contrast paint, is drying, we're gonna highlight some of the armor, and we're gonna highlight it with Runefang steel. You can see right there the Runefang steel. And we're just highlighting it as little as possible here, because we don't want to bring it out and make it too bright. So again, I'm kind of using the side of my brush just to kind of paint onto the parts that are bumpy, that are protruding out of the miniature. Just like that. You can't really see too much of a difference, but you can certainly see enough of the difference. So again, I'm not trying to be super overly neat with this, because it is just to add a little bit of contrast onto it before we throw the wash. Whoop! Gotta keep my big head out of the way. So yeah, just a little tiny bit on the brush. We're not using the tip, we're just using the edge of it just to kind of brush over it in spots. Just to bring out the raised areas. See there. And yeah, we're just, you know, kind of going over it haphazardly or whatever way you want to say it. And the reason why is we're just picking out a couple of spots to make it kind of stand out, but I don't want it to be like super overpowering bright. That's why we're doing it now before we do the wash layer, because the wash layer will help tone it all down. Now it is very close to the tone of what the lead belcher is already, but it's enough for a subtle difference. So yeah, so pretty easy. Singing lessons, oh yeah. There we go. So not a huge difference into the armor, but it is a difference. A little bit more touch-ups like right here. There. That's not too bad at all. Okay, so now we're going to take another contrast paint and we're going to do the base now. Now, for the base to give it that Ashfall look, we're going to be using this color right here of contrast. It's Basilicum gray, I guess. I don't know. But it's that color that we're using. It looks dark, but when you paint on it, it don't come that dark. As you can see, look. See there? But we're going to switch brushes because that brush will take forever to paint that. So let's get a little bit of a bigger brush. When I say a little bigger brush, I mean this behemoth right here. And paint it. Just like so. Pretty easy. There's a little spot right in there. I think I got it. A little bit on the side of it. My brush came off. It's not good. As you can see there, I'm not being very cautious with this contrast paint. I'm even kind of putting it over at Silver Bright. Give it a little bit more tarnished, dirty, kind of grimy look, I guess. I'm leaving it pool where it wishes to pool. It can swim whatever way it wants. All right. So next, we'll leave this dry, and when it's dry, we'll be back to paint the rim. Actually, we gotta do the wash onto the miniature first, so we'll do that next after this is dry. Now that the contrast paint is dry for the base, the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to do a complete wash of this miniature, and we're kind of watering down the wash. We are using Agrax Earthshade right here, and the ratio of this is probably about 12 Agrax Earthshade to 6 parts water, and I just put it in a cup, a little Dixie cup, mixed it up. It's very watery. You can see there, like it's super transparent, more transparent than if I did it straight. And then all I do is I'm going to wash over the entire miniature, and that is the armor and everything. The only thing I am avoiding here is the skin, obviously, because I don't want him to be like dirty faced. Even though he probably would have some dirt onto him from being in battle and everything, but we're not going to do that. So yeah, just washing it all, pretty simple. The base, everything. You can see there. And when this is dry, the next thing we're going to do is just paint the rim of the base, and we're going to call this guy done. So when this is dry, I'll be back with the rim paint. I'll show the rim around it is painted, and we're painting the rim. I'm going to do it off camera. Just Abaddon black. And after that's all painted, we'll be back with the final piece finished. Well, there you have it, Board Game Maniacs. The wash is still drying slightly, but you can see, that's one thing I didn't do to this, guys. I forgot to put the wash on, so I was waiting until I washed this guy to wash that guy, but obviously I just forgot. Anyhow, so be it, but he is completely done. He's got the rim is all done on the base. And you can see from where we painted the highlights of the armor before we put the wash onto it, it toned down the highlights, but it still gave a little bit of glistening on certain parts for the raised areas, which is good, and that's the way I wanted it. And the wash there for the base, all dirty. You can see the base is still kind of drying, but all in all, I'm very happy with this. He's going to be a good addition to the Fallout Wasteland Warfare, as well as the other knight for the knight, I should say, and the scribes and lancers. Got the hiccups again. Jeez. So there you go. That's the two of them. They're done. And that completes the box set for Brotherhood of Steel for Fallout Wasteland Warfare by Modiphius Entertainment. Don't forget to jump over to Modiphius Entertainment, Modiphius.com/Fallout, or even just Modiphius.com, and check out what they have to offer and other product lines and everything else, because they have a great set of games. I strongly recommend going over there. But in either case, I'm starting to ramble on. This is my closing, so hope you enjoyed this Painting with the Maniac episode, and I will see you next Painting with the Maniac episode, where we may potentially paint more Fallout Wasteland Warfare, or maybe Star Wars, or Marvel Crisis Protocol, or Hero Quest, or there's so many things that we can do. And you just have to wait till next episode, I guess. So until next time, don't forget, hit the like, subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and also you can check us out on patreon.com/BoardGameManiacs if you want to become an official sponsor of Board Game Maniacs. Whew. All right, so there you go. So until next time, Board Game Maniacs, have some fun painting some miniatures, playing some games, talking to people, but most importantly of all, and that is, be a maniac. We'll see you next time. Bye. Bye. Boo. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to keep up to date with Board Game Maniacs, click on the like and subscribe button to be notified when more videos come available. If you want to become an official sponsor of Board Game Maniacs, go to patreon.com/BoardGameManiacs. Or you can go to streamlabs.com/BoardGameManiacs1. That's right, and you can donate to help keep the lights on, keep food in our bellies, and play more games. We'll purchase more games, more equipment to make Board Game Maniacs evolve and get bigger and larger because of you, the viewers. I thank you from the bottom of my toes to the top of my head for all of your support. And until next time, Board Game Maniacs,
Be a maniac.